So that's what you really want? Her voice cuts through the air like a silver blade, polished, deliberate, and just a touch cruel. I freeze halfway through the living room, one hand still on the strap of my backpack. The air smells like white lilies and expensive perfume, that kind that lingers too long, invading every inch of space. She's standing by the window, her silhouette caught in the dim afternoon light, glass of red wine in hand. Mrs. Hartman, my best friend's stepmother, and easily the most intimidating woman I've ever met. Her tone isn't loud, but it doesn't need to be. Every syllable drips with judgment and something else I can't name. Interest, maybe. Or challenge. I'm sorry. I manage, my throat tightening. She turns slowly. You heard me. A faint smile plays on her lips. You've been circling this house all summer, haven't you? Helping Jamie with his projects. Staying for dinner. Staying late. She steps closer and the heel of her shoe clicks against the polished marble. And now you're standing here staring at me like I'm the one in trouble. I wasn't staring. At least I don't think I was. But she's right. There's something about her that draws eyes, even unwilling ones. Every movement she makes seems rehearsed, choreographed, like she knows exactly how the world bends around her. I swallow. I was just waiting for Jamie. He said he'd be ready in a minute. Her smile deepens. Jamie's never ready in a minute. She sets her glass down on the sideboard, the soft clink echoing. So while we wait, tell me something, Alex. Her saying my name does something strange to my pulse. Tell you what. I ask carefully. What you really want. The room feels smaller suddenly. The air heavier. Her gaze doesn't waver. It pins me to the spot. Behind her, sunlight filters through sheer curtains, turning everything golden unreal. I don't understand. I lie. Of course you do. She tilts her head, studying me like I'm an uninvited guest at her private performance. You want something. I can always tell. Most people hide it. You, though. Her eyes narrow, amused. You wear it. There's no right answer here. If I defend myself, she'll smile again. That condescending little curl of lips that says she's already won. If I say nothing, she'll assume I'm guilty. So I do what I always do when cornered. Stay silent. She takes a slow step forward, the soft scent of jasmine and oak drifting toward me. Her voice lowers like she's whispering a secret to the air. You remind me of someone, she says. Hungry, ambitious, but not sure what you're chasing. I should say something, anything. But the words stay locked behind my teeth. Because the truth is, she's not entirely wrong. I came from a small town, got into the city's best university on a scholarship, and now, standing in this mansion full of perfect furniture and quiet wealth, I feel exposed. Like every insecurity I've buried is lit up in the golden light of her scrutiny. Mrs. Hartman turns away, picks up her glass again, and studies the wine swirling inside it. When I was your age, she says softly, I thought people would see me for my ideas. Turns out they only ever saw what they wanted. She glances at me. Maybe you'll figure that out sooner than I did. Something in her tone shifts, less mocking, more reflective. But before I can read it, footsteps echo from the hallway. Jamie's voice breaks the tension. Hey, sorry, Mom, Alex. Took forever to find the charger. I blink, stepping back, pretending to be interested in my shoes. Mrs. Hartman's expression changes instantly. Polite, bright, motherly. The mask slides into place so easily it makes my stomach twist. That's fine, honey, she says sweetly. You two have fun. Jamie grabs his backpack. We'll be at the studio. Back before dinner. We start toward the door, but as I pass her, she leans closer. Just enough for only me to hear. Her whisper brushes against my ear, soft but sharp. Be careful what you chase, Alex. Some things look like opportunity, until they bite. The words follow me all the way to the driveway. Even when Jamie's laughing, telling me about the new track he's mixing, I barely hear him. All I can think about is her tone, her eyes, and the way she looked at me like she knew something I didn't. And that line, so that's what you really want? Loops in my head until it starts to sound less like judgment and more like invitation. By the time we reach his car, I realize I'm in trouble. Not the kind you can apologize out of, the kind that stirs curiosity you shouldn't have, and leaves you wondering what exactly she meant. The air outside feels cooler, lighter, but I can't shake the sense that something just shifted, like a quiet door opening somewhere behind me. waiting for me to step through, and maybe I will. Jamie's studio is a converted attic, all soundproof panels, glowing LEDs, and that constant hum of equipment. He's been working on his music for weeks, and I'm supposed to be helping him polish the tracks for his upcoming audition. But tonight, my mind's not in it. Every time he adjusts a dial or hums a melody, I drift. Back to the living room. Back to her. Her words echo in me like the bass line that never fades. Be careful what you chase. Alex. I keep hearing it in that low, controlled tone. A warning wrapped in curiosity. Jamie's voice cuts through. You good, man? You've been zoning out all night. Yeah, I say too quickly. Just tired. He shrugs, trusting that answer. He always does. We'll call it. My mom's making dinner anyway. You staying? I hesitate. I should say no, go home. Forget all of this. But my mouth betrays me. Yeah, sure. The dining room always feels too big for 3 people. Mrs. Hartman sits at the head of the table, elegant even in the softest lighting. Jamie's talking about chords, applications, deadlines, and she's smiling, nodding in all the right places. But every so often her gaze slides to me, not obvious. Not enough for Jamie to notice. Just enough to make me aware of her. Once our eyes meet, a flicker, a heartbeat, and she tilts her head slightly like she's testing how long I'll hold it. I look away first. Dinner passes in half-listened conversations and half-tasted food. Afterward, Jamie heads upstairs again, saying something about editing one more track. I start to gather my things ready to leave when her voice stops me. Alex. I turn. She's standing by the doorway, arms folded loosely, expression unreadable. You don't have to rush off. I could use your help with something. My pulse stumbles. Sure, what is it? The library. The top shelf. I can't reach the files there. She gestures toward the dimly lit hall. Of course. A practical reason. Perfectly innocent. I follow her down the hall anyway. The library smells like leather and dust and warm, old, expensive. A single lamp glows near the desk, throwing soft gold light over the shelves. She walks ahead, her hand brushing along the spines of books like she's playing an instrument. The blue binder, she says, nodding upward. I reach up, stretch, and pull it free. When I turn, she's closer than I expected, just a few steps away. I hand it to her and our fingers brush. Just a second, barely contact, but the static is unmistakable. Her eyes lift to mine. Neither of us moves, then she smiles, faint, private. Thank you. But she doesn't take the binder, not yet. Her gaze lingers unreadable, like she's deciding something silently. You seem nervous, she says. I swallow. You make people nervous. That earns a soft laugh, the kind that vibrates just under the surface. Do I? You know you do. She tilts her head, amused. Honest. I like that. Finally, she takes the binder, setting it down on the desk beside her. Then quieter. You keep coming back here, Alex, why? The question hangs in the air. There are too many answers, friendship, duty, curiosity, but none of them sound right. I help Jamie, I say, voice low. Her tone is doubtful, teasing. You help Jamie. She traces a finger along the binder's edge. But you watch me. That hits harder than I expect. I take a breath. That's not... Her eyes meet mine again, steady, knowing. You don't have to deny it. Curiosity isn't a sin. I don't respond. I can't. Because she's right again and she knows it. The silence between us stretches thin, fragile, electric. The air hums with all the things we aren't saying. Her perfume, that faint jasmine and oak scent, fills the space. Finally, she turns away, breaking the moment like snapping glass. Jamie's lucky to have a friend like you, she says softly. Just remember, not everyone will treat your loyalty kindly. She leaves the room without looking back. I stand there for a moment, surrounded by the scent she left behind, the lamp still glowing. My heart beats too fast, my thoughts too loud. This is wrong. It's dangerous. I know that. But I also know something else, something I don't want to admit. I'll come back, even if I shouldn't. That night, lying awake, her words loop again and again. Not just be careful what you chase, but the way she said it. Like she wanted me to chase anyway. And when my phone lights up with a new message from Jamie, Mom says you left your notebook. Come by tomorrow if you want. I don't even hesitate before typing back, sure, I'll swing by. The house smells like vanilla and faint candle wax when I arrive the next afternoon. Jamie's out with a friend, which means it's just me and her. My heartbeat skips a few times before I even knock. My hand lingers at the door. Her voice calls from inside, soft, controlled. "Come in, Alex." The living room is empty, except for her. She's seated on the sofa, the sun spilling across her hair, making it glow like copper in the soft light. She looks up as I enter, and for a moment everything freezes. Not because she's smiling exactly, but because she's watching. The kind of watching that feels like being naked in front of someone without a stitch of clothing. Vulnerable. Exposed. She pats the seat beside her. "Sit," she says, casual. But there's tension in her voice, the kind that makes the words feel heavier than they are. I hesitate. Then slide down beside her, careful not to invade space but unable to ignore the pull between us. She doesn't speak for a while, just lets the silence stretch, thick with expectation. I try to focus on the notebook she asked me to bring, flipping through the pages, pretending I'm busy. "You're quiet today," she finally says. "Just concentrating." Her gaze doesn't move from mine. Sure, but I think it's more than that. You've been distracted, again." I feel heat rising, not from embarrassment, but from the awareness that she sees everything. She notices every little thing. The way I shift in my seat, the tension in my shoulders, the way my eyes dart to her every time she moves. "You're not wrong," I admit finally, voice low. "I can't stop thinking about you." The words hang in the air, heavier than anything I've said in months. Even I didn't know I'd say them out loud. Her lips part slightly. Her eyes widen, just enough for me to catch it. But she doesn't pull away. Not immediately. "You shouldn't say that," she whispers almost to herself. "Why not?" I ask, voice trembling just slightly. "I feel it. And I can't stop. I try, but—" She leans back against the sofa, letting the words sink in. Her hand brushes a lock of hair from her face, slow, deliberate. "Alex, you know this is complicated. I don't care," I say, heart thudding, reckless. "I can't lie about it anymore. Not to you. Not to myself." She tilts her head, studying me. Her expression is unreadable, a mix of amusement, curiosity, and something else. Softness, maybe, buried under layers of composure. "You're brave," she says quietly. "Or foolish." I smile, a little self-deprecating. Maybe both. The room stretches silent again. It's electric. You could hear the hum of the fridge, the faint creak of the floorboards, the ticking of a clock somewhere far off. And then, just as I start to wonder if I've imagined the softness in her gaze, she reaches out. Not in a shocking way. Not grabbing. Just a tentative brush of her fingers along mine as she adjusts the notebook on her lap. But it's enough. Enough to make my chest squeeze, my stomach twist, and my mind explode in every possible emotion all at once. Her eyes meet mine. "Do you know how dangerous this is?" she asks, voice trembling ever so slightly, betraying her control. "Yes," I whisper, "and I don't care." She exhales slowly, like she's been holding the air in her lungs for too long. "Alex?" My heart hammers against my ribs. Every nerve in my body is alert, every instinct screaming. I lean just a little closer, daring, not touching, just the promise of proximity. "You make it hard to stay reasonable," she admits, the words soft, almost confessional. I swallow. "Then maybe we shouldn't stay reasonable." Her lips twitch in a fleeting smile. Just a flash, just enough. And in that moment, the air between us shifts. Not dramatic, not explosive, but undeniable. She leans back, breaking the tension, as if suddenly aware of the line we're walking. "Jamie will be back soon," she says. And in the casualness of the words, I sense the abrupt halt of everything simmering between us. I nod, pretending to understand, even though my whole body is screaming that I don't want this to end. As I gather my notebook to leave, she says softly, almost to herself, almost to me, "I've never met anyone like you, Alex, and I don't know how to handle it." I pause in the doorway, hand on the knob. Her words linger, intoxicating. I look back at her, heart raw, and realize she's scared too. She's hiding behind calm and elegance, but it's there. Desire. Fear. Curiosity. And I know as I step outside that nothing will ever be the same. Not between us. Not between me and this dangerous magnetic pull she wields so effortlessly. The game has begun. And neither of us knows where it will lead. It's late evening when I return. The house is quiet, bathed in the orange glow of streetlights slipping through sheer curtains. Jamie's asleep in the guest room, his laughter, his music, his constant energy replaced by silence. It's the kind of quiet that presses against your chest, forcing you to notice everything. The faint scent of her perfume lingering in the air, the subtle creak of the floorboards, the way shadows dance along the walls. I find her in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, wine glass in hand, eyes closed for a moment as she exhales. She opens her eyes when she hears me enter, sharp, alert, almost vulnerable. "Alex," she says, voice low, careful. "I wasn't expecting you back so soon. I had to." My words are clipped, but my gaze lingers on her. I can't stop it. I can't stop watching her. She tilts her head, curious. "You've been different lately." I step closer. "So have you." She smiles faintly, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Different. Dangerous, maybe. I hesitate, then take another step, closing the space between us. She doesn't retreat, and that absence of resistance unravels me further. "I can't pretend anymore," I whisper, the words carrying more weight than I expect. "I don't want to. I feel something for you. Strong, wrong, complicated, but it's real." Her breath catches. Her fingers tighten around the wine glass. She studies me like she's trying to measure whether I'm serious or if I'll vanish as easily as I arrived. "You're serious," she says slowly. "You're dangerous, Alex, you know that?" "Yes," I admit. "But I can't stop." She sets the glass down and leans against the counter fully, facing me squarely now. The warmth of her body radiates, the faint scent of jasmine enveloping me. I notice the small tremble in her fingers, the way her chest rises faster than usual. "You're reckless," she whispers, voice thick. And her words falter. She looks away, then back at me, eyes shining in the lamplight. "I don't want this," she admits. "I shouldn't want this, but I do." The confession hits me like a rush of heat. Everything I've been feeling, everything I've been holding back, suddenly has a name. It's mutual. She feels it too. I step closer, carefully, giving her no chance to retreat. "Then we don't have to fight it," I say softly. Her gaze drops to my lips. My chest tightens, pulse drumming. "Alex," she breathes, trembling. "You don't understand. This is more than just us. There's Jamie, there's everything else I'm supposed to be." "I understand," I say, "and I'm willing to risk it." Her hand finds mine, tentative at first, then firmer. Electricity shoots through me the moment our fingers intertwine. It's not just touch. It's acknowledgement, permission, a secret shared. We stand there for a moment, hands clasped, breathing in sync. The air between us hums with tension, a mix of fear, desire, and anticipation. Then she leans closer, whispering just above my lips. "I don't know how much longer I can hold back." I respond instinctively, voice low. "Neither can I." And that's the breaking point. Everything we've restrained, curiosity, longing, fascination, threatens to spill over. She's shaking, not from fear but from intensity, from the force of emotions she's kept at bay for so long. I feel it too, raw and unfiltered, as if the world outside these walls doesn't exist. The kitchen light casts long shadows across her face, highlighting the subtle tremble of her lips, the flash of vulnerability behind her poised expression. She's never looked more human, more real, more unreachable, and yet she's here. Right here, we don't speak. There's no need. Our eyes say everything, and the tension tightens like a coil ready to snap. My hand shifts slightly, brushing hers, fingertips tracing lines that shouldn't exist. She doesn't pull away. She leans closer. The quiet stretches, the seconds ticking like heartbeats between confessions. I want to say something bold, reckless, true, but words aren't enough. They never are. Suddenly, the distant sound of a car door slamming outside, Jamie returning, and shatters the bubble. We both jump slightly, the spell broken. Her hand slips from mine. Her expression hardens, controlled again, elegant and untouchable. But there's a softness left behind in her eyes that wasn't there before. "I have to go check on him," she says, voice steady. "We can talk later." I nod, heart pounding, knowing this is far from over. The air still hums with the energy we left behind. Dangerous, magnetic, unstoppable. As I step toward the door, I glance back. She's watching me, and in that look I see acknowledgement, desire, and fear, all tangled together. We're at the edge now. The next step, whatever it is, will change everything, and I'm already leaning forward. Morning light slips through the curtains like quiet forgiveness. The air is cool, still carrying last night's tension. A fragile calm stretched thin across the walls. I haven't slept. I can still hear the echo of her voice, the way she whispered my name before everything collapsed into silence. Jamie's laughter filters faintly from outside. He's probably heading to the garage humming one of his songs. The ordinary sound feels jarring against what happened, or almost happened, pointed between us. I stand in the hallway, notebook in hand, heart somewhere between dread and longing. Then I see her. Mrs. Hartman stands by the living room window, arms crossed, watching the garden. She looks different this morning. Not polished, not composed. Just human, tired eyes, messy hair, barefoot on the marble floor. She turns when she hears me. For a moment, neither of us says a word. Then she sighs, soft but sharp. You came back, I needed to. Why? The question cuts, though it isn't cruel. She asks like she truly wants to know. I didn't want to leave things like that, I answer. I couldn't. Her eyes flicker, a small flicked match of emotion before she looks away again. We went too far, she murmurs. Even without saying it aloud, we crossed a line. Maybe, I say, but I think the line was crossed long before last night. That makes her smile, a quiet, broken smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. You're right. She moves toward the table, fingertips trailing across its surface as if grounding herself. You remind me of who I used to be, she says softly. Before I started measuring my choices by what people expected, before I learned how to look composed instead of alive. I take a step closer, voice barely above a whisper. Then maybe this, whatever this was, meant something. Maybe it reminded you that you're still... Don't. She cuts in gently, not angry, just pained. Don't make me want something I can't keep. The words land heavy between us. I want to argue, to tell her that we could find a way, that rules and reputations are smaller than what we feel. But I see her expression, the quiet steadiness of someone who already made her choice. She looks up, tears almost shining but held back. Alex, you're young. You still get to run toward life. I don't. My choices, they echo farther than yours. I don't care about the noise, I say. You will. Her voice trembles. One day you'll look back and realize some people are meant to wake you, not stay with you. Silence swells. The only sound is the faint rustle of leaves outside. She reaches out, not to pull me close, not to start something again, just to rest her hand briefly against my cheek. It's gentle, steady, final. Thank you, she whispers, for reminding me I can still feel. I close my eyes for a moment, memorizing the warmth of her palm, the weight of the moment. When she pulls her hand away, it feels like the air itself shifts, lighter and colder all at once. Jamie's voice calls from outside, cheerful, oblivious. Alex, you coming? We're late. I manage a shaky breath, then meet her eyes one last time. I'll miss this, I say. All of it, she nods. You won't. You'll carry it. There's a difference. I don't know what to say to that, so I just nod and turn toward the door. The sound of my own footsteps feels distant, like I'm walking out of someone else's story. Before I leave, she says quietly, you'll do great things. Alex, just don't let anyone make you smaller than you are, not even me. The door closes behind me with a soft click that feels louder than any goodbye. Outside, the sun has risen fully. Jamie's leaning on the car, waving impatiently, music blasting from his phone. He's alive, bright, uncomplicated. Everything I suddenly wish I could be again. As I slide into the passenger seat, he grins. Dude, you look like you didn't sleep at all. I laugh, but it's hollow. Something like that. The car rolls down the driveway and I glance back once, just once, at the house shrinking in the rearview mirror. I catch a glimpse of her at the window, hand pressed against the glass. Not waving, just watching. For a moment, the world holds still, and then it moves again. Weeks later, I still see her in flashes, the way light curved across her face, the calmness that cracked into honesty, the warning in her voice when she said, be careful what you chase, I understand now. Some things aren't meant to be caught. They're meant to change you, to leave you standing taller, quieter, more awake to your own heart. And though I never saw her again, every time I walk past that street I feel it, that lingering electricity, that ache of almost. What we shared was never a story of possession. It was a moment of recognition, a reminder that even the wrong connections can reveal the right truths. and maybe that's enough.